These are some tips and tricks on how to change rear shocks that I wish I knew. That would have saved me hours for a 2002 to 2007 Buick Rendezvous or a 2001 to 2006 Pontiac Aztek specifically. What you'll need to do it one person, they say you need two, you can do this one person. You should do it with two, it's safer. Anyway, what you'll need is two jacks. Tools I used were 15mm, 18mm, 13/16 specifically for the rear lower ball joint, one adjustable ratchet, breaker bar, pry bar, 15mm wrench hammer, penetration fluid, red Permalock. You should use blue. All I had was red. If you're going to use red, just use a dot, and a special tool to make sure I could do it by myself, one person. This is the tool that allowed me to do it by myself. I'll show you why in a bit. Don't forget to pop this out to make sure this doesn't rip nothing. This is what ended up working for me. I took the top of the rebound off because when I went to take off the bottom, took off that nut and I was hitting it from the back. It was seized on there. So trying to knock that off, I didn't want to damage it because clearly this needs to be replaced soon as well, just not right now, not on this vehicle. So the top was easier. Once I took the bolts out and then I lowered the jack, it actually just popped it out. I ended up taking these two 15s out, rear tie rod out, here one of these links, the bottom ball joint, that's the 13/16. I came in this way, had the deep socket go down, didn't even need an extension, it was perfect. So once you got all that dropped, I didn't want to mess with this bolt too much because clearly it's for some sort of measuring, probably the balancing. So if you can keep that how it's supposed to be, preferably you should get this all aligned. I'm gonna get all this aligned, balanced after anyway. Once you take all that, this whole control arm will just drop, give you enough clearance to take the old spring out, probably be in pieces like that. So when you're putting in the shock, once it's fully down, you want this rubber comes right out with this steel. Alright, this is attached to this. This isn't. This comes right out with the rubber. So you want to take that out. You put that in the shock. You feed it in, you put the top in first, and then you pop the bottom in. And then you turn it to where you need it so the rubber meets the metal. And of course, that's when the two jacks come in handy. One under here and one under this side. To get this back, these two 15mm bolts back in, with the nuts on the other side, I had to clamp. I had to use this to clamp, right, to bring that together, because it took some force to put it together. This is when a second person would help, but you can definitely still do this one person. That's what I used. If you don't have this, you can use one of those metal straps. That's what I was going to end up using, just to squeeze that together, one of the big ones. And I'll slowly bring that together so you can feed the bolt in to get the thread started. Once you get a few threads started, it squeezes it together. So you'll see what you need. Having two jacks is so much easier because you can raise one, lower one, whatever you need. But once you get those back in, make sure this is of course aligned. The rubber, like take a picture of how you take it out so the end of the spring meets up with, this is the rubber, and of course that's the end of the spring spiraling down. Once you got all that back in, it's pretty much reversing everything else. Pop this back in, pop whatever link you took out, the top or the bottom, lower ball joint back in, and then jack it up so you can get this bolts back in through from this side. I hope this 5 or 10 minute video saves somebody 20 minutes or a half hour. Or in my case, it would have been at least a couple hours. Please leave a comment. People will probably read the comments coming to this video for tips and tricks. Tell me what I got wrong, what you did differently. Thank you. Have a good day. Good luck.